guys! Do you want to learn all major parts of your brain using only your hands? Yeah. By the way, I'm Charin Lumanog and I will show you how to learn all major parts of your brain using your hands. So, let's go. See your hand in front of you. As you see, your hand is darker than your palm, just like the outer layer of your brain. It is called cortex or gray matter, and the outside of your brain is darker than the inside. It is just because it lines with neuron cell bodies, are also called soma. The cell body keep the neuron healthy and control all of the function of the cell. The muscle inside our hand represent the white matter. The white matter of the brain that made of neuron and axon. In this tissue contains millions of nerve fibers or axons that carry information to the other neuron. Also remember that the two neuron was never ever really touched. Try to make a fist in our hand. You can create a fist that's very similar in your brain. This is how our human brain able to squeeze so much of gray matter cortex into the small space within your skull. Now, take your fist hand and cross over your wrist like this. After that, make the back of your hands touch each other. This will help us to remember that our left hemisphere of our brain controls the right side of our body, while the right hemisphere of our brain controls the left side of our body. They are opposite, right? Take a look closer at your hands in the middle, where they touch. It represents the corpus callosum. Corpus callosum is the communication between the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of your brain that help to communicate with each other. Just think that it is like the golden bridge of your brain. Our wrist represents the brainstem. Brainstem is positioned at the very bottom of your brain. Brainstem is the most basic part of our brain and its basic function like your heart rate, breathing, sleeping, and eating. This is also where the signal from the right side of your body cross over to the left side of your brain, and the left side of our body cross over to the right brain. Let's go to your arm, because your arm represents the spinal cord that extends down your back. It sends and receives information from the rest of your body. Let's focus on our left hemisphere. Your little and ring finger of front fingers represent our frontal lobe. If you remember front finger's frontal lobe, you will remember that this part of your brain is responsible for your complex and abstract abilities. It sits right behind your forehead. It's the most advanced part of our brain. The frontal lobe helps us to imagine possible future and makes up plans, and helps to control our emotion. It's said it doesn't finish developing until your mid-20s, which why a lot of kids can do instinctive things. If you extend your middle and index finger, you will see the part of your hand that represents a parietal lobe. The parietal lobe combines all the sensory information in your body, such as pressure, touch, and pain. But your brain doesn't prioritize each part of your body equally, because the brain prioritizes information from your hands and face. Look at the side of your hands. You will notice they look like eyes, because this is the occipital lobe of your brain that's responsible for visual information such as shapes, colors, movements, and also drawing conclusions about the image we see. Take a look at your thumb. See how it can lift away from the rest of your fist but remains attached. This is similar to the temporal lobe. The back of this is connected to the parietal and occipital lobes, but the front section can be lifted away from the rest of your brain. The temporal lobe is responsible for understanding speech and sounds. Remember this, the thumb looks like the temporal lobe, which is important for talking. If we take a closer look at the temporal lobe, we'll find the limbic. Limbic system is responsible for emotions, learning, and memory. Inside of this, you will find the amygdala. and almond-shaped structures just below your thumbnail. Amygdala is responsible for basic emotions. Further inside is the hippocampus, responsible for learning and memory. That's it. Thank you for listening. Adios.